Hello and welcome. So today I have my trusty cameraman running the camera for me, and I'm gonna try to do something that I've been wanting to do for a while, but that is get rid of this stock infotainment setup, because it's a little lacking, to say the least. The biggest issue I have with it is the navigation. I really prefer either Waze or Google Maps. Of course, it's just built-in stuff, so it's harder to deal with. But the biggest issue I have with it is my phone keeps disconnecting randomly, audio and phone. So I have a unit that I'm going to try to replace it with, that a whole lot of people have been interested in. And they make them for different vehicles too, so if you don't have a Tundra, they may make one for yours, but it is the Tesla style head unit. So it's a full Android head unit. You'll see, but it's like a 10 point something inch screen, something like that. But I got the new style with knobs, so it still has the volume and the scroll and all that stuff. But it does get rid of the AC controls down here also. So it basically goes this whole unit right here. Okay, so as I'm sitting here editing this video, I wanted to throw this in there. I do apologize for the shakiness of the camera. This was my son's first shot with that camera, so he wasn't aware that it was very, very sensitive to shaking. Matter of fact, I'm using it now and I'm even shaking some. So I will be investing in some type of steady cam deal for it, but for now, bear with us. It eventually will get better, just not right this second. So thanks for putting up with it, and hopefully it doesn't introduce any kind of vertigo or something like that. So first and foremost, we're going to try to pull this out, and we're going to go step by step on what you need to do. And my cameraman's going crazy. But anyway, so we're going to do that, and I will show you all how to do this. And this is the 2014 and up Toyota Tundra, and then I will show you some gotchas on various models and stuff like that. So let me get it and get the tools, and we'll get started. Alright, so this is the Tesla style head unit as it was shipped. They come from different manufacturers. This one, I believe, is the Phoenix style. You have your big old bag O cables. You have your GPS antenna if you do not have the adapter to use the stock one, which right now I don't, but it is on order, so I will change that out because I don't really want to have this just dangling out anywhere. And I've heard good things about using the stock one, so you have better reception. And this is the unit.
What?
Excuse the plastic. So this will go there. So let's get this thing wired up, and we'll get started. Alright, so the wiring is pretty straightforward. There's really only one place that everything can go. There's this smaller one, which has the short USB female side, and then the other one is a longer USB female side. But then they have this adapter, which will go to the stock USB port on the truck. And this slides in and out pretty easy. So for now, I'm just going to let it ride. I just want to see what it does. But I will come back and tape this up. Probably get some Tesla tape or something like that. But that will go into the factory harness that will go down to the factory USB slot. The other thing of note will be these two. One of these will go to your backup camera. They have the wide and the narrow. Whichever one plugs into your stock harness, that corresponding yellow one will go into the CCD in port here. That's also a little loose, so I'll probably pinch those in a little bit for whichever one it is. So, and then if you have your factory, if you're going to use your factory GPS, then that will go here with the different adapters, which I'll do after I get those. But if you're going to use the one that they send you, it will just screw in right there with no problem. And I'll show you where you can put this one if you decide to use this one whenever we get to that point. So now that it's all wired up and pretty much ready to go as far as I can go right now, we'll go ahead and start dismantling the dash. Alright, so the first step before doing any of this work is to disconnect the negative battery cable. You probably could get away with it without doing it, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Alright, so the first step is to remove this where your 12 volt ports and USB port are. If you have a limited or higher or whatever, you may have the security thing down here. But you're going to use, the best thing to do is to get you some plastic pry tools and come in here on the top between the HVAC controls and this thing, and come in on the sides here and pop them loose, because that's where the clips are. There's some on the bottom too, but once these top ones are out, it's all good. So that is that. Now if you look down under here, it should be just, you pull this straight out. You reach behind here, if my cameraman could actually back up a little bit. You just reach behind the controls and gently pull out. So it's just being held in by clips, and I just I just pulled straight out on that. And then as you can see, it's just 4 little clips holding this in, and then the actual wires for the AC controls. Alright, so now that this is out, you just reach in right here. There's a little clip. You push that in, and always grab the plastic, not the wires, and kind of jiggle it out. And then it's out. So this you can set aside. Now, to get to the radio, if you look under here, there are 4 10mm bolts. 1, 2 way back there, 3, 4 is way back here. So we're going to pull those out.
Yay.
You really need a long extension to get to the back ones. And if you are like me and are prone to damaging things, you may want to take some painter's tape and run down the sides here to cover this. But I like living life on the edge. I'm not going to cover mine. Alright, so now, once you get those 4 out, again, reach behind and carefully kind of jiggle it out. And it just comes out. Now,
just like the others.
Yep, just like the others. Now, this can come out and it can sit up here for a moment, because if you'll notice, the clips are still in right here. That may or may not happen with you, but you do need these. The other unit, you may have to put them on there, I can't remember, but we're going to hold on to them and stick them back on the radio.
Yeah,
just like that. They just clip on there. They just slide straight on.
Just right there.
Okay. So now you have a big open space. And then all these wires. So now we get to figure out which wires go where on the new unit.
Oh no.
So let me reach back here and get that. All right. Okay.
That's the bigger screen.
It is. Excuse the crumbs my son likes to eat in the back seat. All right.
Guilty.
So now we get to figure out what all goes where.
Where's Waldo? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it is like where's Waldo?
Oh,
Okay. So first off, we get all of these connectors. They'll have a little pinch point somewhere, and then always pull the plastic, never pull the cable itself. This is for the antenna, so that one goes there. And with some of these units, like this, yeah, just what happened there, whenever I pushed it in, you got to make sure that the pins are straight, because this actually has, I don't know if you can look down in there, it has the big barrel, and then it has a little bitty pin in there. That goes to this little blue wire. You have to be very careful to make sure that that is straight and not bent, because if it is bent, you will not have good reception. A lot of people have complained about that on, whenever they get these kind of radios. So be careful with that pin. And also, just like whenever I plug this in, the barrel tries to push out. So that means that it's either not straight or is somehow crimped. So let's see if we can get this thing going in straight. It keeps trying to pop out.
here, hang on. Do I need a...
No.
Okay.
Alright, I believe this one again, fat fingers, but there is a, that's for the USB port. That's for the factory one. And there's only one way it can go.
And it's that way.
And make sure it does snap. And then there you go. So you have access to your factory USB port. Let's see here. This one can come out. This one. Now, if you decide to use the factory the factory GPS, I believe it's going to be this one with the foam on it, because there is also this one. They're both the same kind of connector, but I believe this one's for the satellite radio. But you want to use this one for the actual GPS itself. And then let's go ahead and disconnect these. And there we go. Okay, so the stock unit is free. I don't mean free as in cost, I mean free as in freedom. Alright, so now let's see here. Which one of these will be the backup?
Oh boy.
That is the question of the day. It's one of these two. So I want to say it's going to be that one.
Nope. Oh.
Nope, maybe not that one.
Yeah, I was right.
I don't think it's that one either. Is it this one? Can't be that one. Nope, not that one. A lot of this is trial and error, so bear with me. Alright, let's see here. That one has umpteen bazillion in it. Hey, look, it goes.
Could have just edited that out, but we like making you guys watch.
Alright, so there's that. Still don't know where that goes. Oh, that goes to this probably. Yep. Nope. Yep. Alright, that's for the AC controls.
Yeah. It takes like a while.
It's got to be this one. Yep, it's that one. So for my 15 limited, it's going to be the bigger one, not the slimmer one. So I'll go ahead and knock those in a little bit and plug that into the back of the unit.
Which unit?
The little where it says CCD-N right there, goes right there. And these, let's see, not that one. That is the antenna. Alright, so that one was a little tricky. The barrel for the antenna didn't seem to want to go in right, but just fiddling around with it a little bit, it finally started working. This one we will not use because it's the small one. We had to use the wider one for our backup camera. And I believe this will be the last connection. And there we go. Alright, so that should be it.
This is not going to be easy to edit.
That'll be okay. So this one, not certain where it goes. But that looks like it's going to be for that's a factory something, because it goes into the factory harness, not to the radio. So I'm not 100% certain where that goes. Maybe. That's the bad thing about these. They don't necessarily come with instructions. And yes, I said instructions, not instructions. RCA left, RCA right.
Get it? The instructions, because you destroyed that. Not really. But you took all the plugs out. Haha.
Yeah.
I think your brain was thinking of a joke.
Okay, so there's actually 2 sets of these going into the factory harness. Do not know what they do. So we're just going to leave that alone for right now. And what just happened there? Ah, nope, not that. Okay.
Maybe you're missing something.
No, I'm not missing anything. It looks like, oh, yeah, you got to be careful.
It'll get away from you.
Well, no, it pulled out.
What?
Is the problem. Yeah, so now you got to figure out which way it goes. Is it like that or is it like that? Okay, so if the USB port pulls out, there's a little notch right there on top, a little bump, and I'm assuming it will go. If you look at the other end of it, it'll have the little teeth on the inside. Follow it over, and it'll go up. Now, I don't know why that it's not staying in there, but we'll have to hold that as we plug it in.
Maybe
And
now
then-
it'll stay.
And then double check it, make sure it's in there. Like I said, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna get some Testa tape probably and tape up a lot of these wires. Figure out all that stuff.
But right now we can't because we're filming.
Stuff like that. Listen to the wise man.
Not really.
Okay, so now that that is done, I'm not going to stick it in there yet. I'm going to leave it like this. And I'm going to go and hook the battery back up and then see if everything works the way it should, because I'm not 100% certain on all those connections on the back. But let me go hook the battery up and I'll be right back. Nope. Oh, there we go.
Ooh, look at
Let's
this.
see. Whoop, nope,
Oh.
no accessory. Okay. Gotta go to on. And the first time usually takes a while to boot up, even on the fast boot models, because there are two different ones, the fast boot and then the non-fast boot. This is the newer generation with the button with the knobs. I think they're all fast boot, and if you have a SR5 or TRD Pro that your AC controls are not the dual climate control, currently there is an issue with them that it like resets itself after every time you cut it off. But if you have the dual climate control, so you have a limited, platinum, 1794 or whatever, you're fine. And mine's the limited, so I'm good.
And then you pick your language.
Let's see here.
Yay.
English. So we should be good with that. Let's so I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off and get it in the dash and see what it looks like in the dash. And one thing I forgot to mention, if you look here, there's this notch where the stock radio fits in right there, and it correlates to this. Back up. This right here. So if your radio doesn't have this, because not all of them do, you will have to cut this off on the truck side. Okay, so I'm gonna stop right here. The part that you just saw, that little notch, I recorded it, but it obviously did not save on the camera for whatever reason. I ended up having to take my pocket knife and cut the bottom part of that off. Just took the knife blade and just ran it across. It's fairly soft plastic. It was simple enough to do. Even though my pocket knife, that blade wasn't sharp, it was able to do it. So I had to do that in order to actually fit the radio in there at all. But it also keeps from damaging the top of the screen, which I was trying to explain here. So sorry for the interruption, sorry for the missing content, but at least you know. Just use like razor blade, pocket knife, X-Acto knife, whatever you have, and you can see in that where it's just those two little nubs that stick down. You don't have to cut the whole thing off, just cut it flush with the bottom of it, and you should be good. So let's carry on. So if you wanted to run the run the GPS antenna that comes with the unit, the best place that people have found to run it is up behind, or with this, where the speaker is up here, there's like 8 clips that hold it in. You pop that off, and then there's a space where you can run the wire back behind here and then run it to your head unit. And then you can set the antenna itself up here and then put your little notch in this grill and then run the wire down through there. I don't want to do all that. I'm just going to deal with no GPS right now, since I'll have the adapter. It's like 20 bucks from Amazon. It'll be in tomorrow, so you can do that. But anyway, so I'm going to do a couple of more videos on how to mess with the radio, do certain things with it, stuff like that. But installation, I mean, it's easy. It's really easy. And so far, I like what I see. And of course, my 9-year-old loves the big screen.
Yeah.
So I'll have to keep the keep him from watching videos on it while we drive down the road. But
Hold on,
anyway,
you can watch videos? Yeah.
I made a mistake. But anyway, so anyway, if you like this video, give it a big old thumbs up. If you want to see more stuff like this, which after we get done with this, we're going to do a few more things with the truck and hopefully release those videos soon thereafter. So if you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to be notified whenever I upload a video, which I promise not to bombard you with videos, unless you want to see more videos, then let me know in the comment section below. But click that little bell if you want to be notified every time I upload a video. There will be more stuff coming with this Tesla unit. We are going to do a couple more things with the truck while we have time today. And of course there's still MR2 videos and stuff like that.
Yes,
and then
finally.
Somebody is wanting to do some more MR2 videos, so it's not just you guys wanting the videos. But anyway, so until next time.